Now we move on to the next topic is business process reengineering, where the business process reengineering is defined as the process of analyzing the workflow and redesigning the entire business process of an organization in order to improve the productivity and performance of the organization, to increase the productivity, products quality by the way of redesign or reprocess. Whereas the BPR is the practice of rethinking or redesigning the way of work is done to better support of organization mission and reducing the cost. So the reengineering starts with a high level assessment of organization missions and goals and to meet the customers requirements. Where the business process reengineering tools and steps are used for to get the improvement in the process plan based on the tools and steps, where the tools such as customers and process for focus and visualization for the end process and benchmarking and changing the change management, business process mapping. So these are the main tools mainly focus on the customers needs and process to be come for the straight lines, whereas the steps to improve the redesigning where define the objectives and frameworks, then according to that you have to work and identify the customer needs. To get by the feedback we can find the needs of the customers, then based on that needs to work on the research or to study the existing process, what problems are occurring that should be resolved in the site itself, and formulate or redesign the process implementing the redesign work. This is the methodology used for the various phases of the BPR, where the first stage is the process of improvement or planning stage, where this will move on to the core process with issues, and that issues are identified, and based on that the improvement plan should be taken, then it will be rectified from the project defined section, phase 1. Then it move on to the process analyze or design, so from which the goals and roles or boundaries are found, how long we can work, how we can sort out the problems, and how the period, how much period is required to solve the problems. All those things are found by the discussed in the process analyzing design section or phase 2 section, where then after the analyzation it will move on to the implementation section, which is called for phase 3. So after the implementations we have to improve again the problems or arising, those problems will be rectified and given for the process management to make the continuous process. Okay, so this is the main methodology used for the BPR process reengineering. Oh, this is the plan chart for BPR. First point is to develop the mission and objectives. Whenever it may be the institute or it may be the companies, there will be some mission and missions. That mission objectives are to be focused in the industry or companies. That objectives goals are understand or by the existing process, then that existing process problems are identified by the way of 3 third steps, and it will be redesigned, and according to that redesign it will the process will work and implement the new process. And whenever the side by side we have to analyze the problems and also to implement the new techniques or new models to have the quality product or the new design product, and making the new process operations. Whenever the new process are coming or new equipments are coming, the making to the new process operations and evaluating the process and ongoing continuous improvement. After the process or product or manufacturing, we have to thinking of the continuous improvements required for the 8th stage. This is the main objectives of BPRs are customer focus. First aiming is to satisfy the customers. Okay, the customers complaints to be eliminated. And speed, the dramatic comparison between the time and it takes to the complete the task. Whenever we fixed for a particular period of time or days, we have to complete the work in the time. The time is very very important in the task of BPR. And compression, for cutting the major task of the cost and capital throughout the value chain. Whenever you are fixing the values or cost, this cost values for manufacturing part one equipment, then you have to utilize for that amount, and that amount should be used. You cannot be going for the beyond the amount, capital amount. And the flexibility for adapting the process and structure of changing the conditions and competitions. So that flexibility is very well needed for the objectives of the BPR. And the quality, the level of the quality is always same when controlled or monitored by the process. So if you are spending the low cost, then there is no compromise between the quality. The quality should be correct, then only the customer will come for purchasing of our equipments. Then there will be, we have to compete with the other competitors also. The innovation, new ideas or new techniques to ideas are given to the leadership qualities, and from the leaders that will be implemented by the labors. And the productivity to improve the drastically effectiveness for the improving sections. These are the steps are used for the process reengineering. Determine the reason for the required changes, create the team of experts, and establish the understanding the current process, and determine the inefficient process or define the necessary key of performing indicators, and to develop the new process and implement the new process, and to evaluate the process or comparing the key factors between the indicators. And the importance of the BPRs are introduction of new technology and reduce the response time, or competing edge over your competitors to sell your product will be higher, then improving the productivity and improve for quality of the product. This is the cycle for the BPR. First is the initiative changes. Initially, what type of changes to be implemented, that should be found by the initial stage. Then process diagnosis and process redesign and reconstruction, process monitoring and envision of the new process. So these all process are coming for the new technology as new implemented works to be given for quality product manufacturing. And these are all the major steps also followed for the process of the quality product. Describe the current process, create the vision and objectives, and redesign the business based on the production and new tools of Six Sigma concepts or other concepts, and evaluation of the concept, and plan for implementing the solutions, and implement of the redesign, and finally for the transaction to the continuous improvement process, and plan for implementing the solutions. So these are the steps are used for engineering. And the major problems are arising in BPR is to high level operation cost, low quality offered customers. So there will be some problems will happen when the process is running. So the poor performance of the middle level managers, inappropriate distribution of the resource solution. These are all the problems will arises in the work nature. So that should be resolved in the equipment the section itself. These are the future for engineering process. There several jobs are combined into one jobs to making the quality product. Workers may real decisions. They may take one decision to solve sort out the small problems in coming in the equipments, and work is performed where it makes most sense, and checks and controls are reduced, and reconciliations process are reduced, the reworks to be reduced, and a case of manager provides the point of concept. So these are all the features concepts, feature aspects are used in the re-engineering process. Thank you.